News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moskow.
Karen, it is day 3 of the government shutdown in Washington, D.C. Today, the Senate is expected to hold another vote on a stopgap spending bill to reopen the government into mid-November. Democrats are holding firm on demands to extend health care subsidies that expire at the end of the year. And now President Trump is threatening to slash jobs at what he calls Democrat agencies that don't align with his agenda. White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt was asked how deep the cuts could go.
It's likely going to be in the thousands. It's a very good question, and that's something that the Office of Management and Budget and the entire team at the White House here, again, is unfortunately having to work on today.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt at the White House. Some budget experts question whether it's legal to conduct permanent layoffs during a shutdown. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Republicans have refused to negotiate.
This is the first week of their shutdown, but we've had months of chaos and cruelty unleashed on the American people. And the American people are paying close attention.
House Democratic Leader Hakeem Jeffries, a Washington Post poll finds more voters blame President Trump and Republicans for the shutdown than Democrats by a 17-point margin. If the Senate does vote today, Majority Leader John Thune says he would be unlikely to hold further votes into the weekend. The House doesn't return from its recess until Tuesday.
Well, if it weren't for the government shutdown, Nathan, investors would be looking forward to the jobs report. That data comes out the first Friday of every month. Bloomberg's Michael McKee tells us what we could have expected.
It's not exactly Sherlock Holmes' dog that didn't bark, but the government shutdown means no jobs report today, so no warning or reassurance on the state of the economy. Alternate data, ADP employment and ISM manufacturing, suggesting hiring remained weak in September. That, in theory, could keep the Fed on track to cut rates at the end of the month. The hope, of course, is the folks in Washington can settle their little feud and get the payroll data out before that, and before we miss any other key indicators. Michael McKee, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, Mike, thank you. Well, the shutdown has gold on track for its 7th consecutive week of gains. Bullion has soared more than 45% this year. Prices are now on track for their biggest annual gain since 1979. And stocks enter today's session at all-time highs. Walter Todd is Chief Investment Officer at Greenwood Capital.
We think the market's a little bit over its skis. It's kind of, I heard someone say the other day, price for perfection in a very imperfect world. I think that's a good description of where we are right now. So we do see the opportunity for some broader volatility, even though individual name volatility has been significant.
That's Greenwood Capital's Walter Todd. Stock futures are higher this morning, setting the S&P 500 on track for a 6th straight gain. That would be its longest winning streak since July.
Let's get the latest on the trade war, Nathan. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent predicts, quote, a pretty big breakthrough in the next round of talks with China, even as the Trump administration takes steps to support American farmers hurt by a decline in Chinese purchases of soybeans. Bessent spoke on CNBC.
As I lead the trade negotiations for the U.S. with my counterpart on the Chinese side, the vice premier, what gives us great comfort is the respect that the two leaders have for each other. So it'll be very helpful for them to be able to speak in person and set the framework for trade going forward.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the upcoming negotiations will occur before the scheduled November 10th truce expiration date. Bessent also said news on support for American farmers and the soy sector in particular is expected to be announced next Tuesday. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moskow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.